Wait for the stream. Then I put the status to public. And then we're good. Here we are. So you don't have a Facebook account?
Yes, I have a Facebook account. Yes, it is.
Oh, so I can try to tag you, I guess.
Okay, yes.
At Daniil.
Yes, S and S-H-E. Yes, I don't see.
Shevchenko?
No. D K. Echo. The second one. Yes.
Okay. Is it tagged? Nope. I guess you have your settings.
Private. I can change it. Just take my phone and.
Well, I can just tag you afterwards. I mean.
So you can just tag me and later I can see the live. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Let's go. All right. So, I usually have the same questions for all foreigners that come here. What brings you to Latvia? What are your first impressions?
First impression of Latvia? I can say here in Latvia, a lot of people tell me that are very different from Russia, from the Russian people. But for me, for my look, it's very similar to Russia. Because there are Soviet palace, the people are speaking Russian, the mentality is similar to Russian. I can understand that you don't want to say that you're similar because you're independent, and in the past the Soviet Union was Latvia was oppressed by the Soviet Union, I don't know. But for a look of a stranger people, guy of Latvia is like Russia, but similar, very similar. Only difference that here is everything very expensive. There are Europe Union and you have the sea, the Baltic Sea. So this I think the difference. And you're not a lot, only 1.5 million. So yes.
So what brings you to Latvia?
What you mean? What I think of Latvia?
No. What made you come here?
Because I have my mission that is traveling for all the Europe for demonstrate against the Putin war, demonstrate that not every Russian for the war, and I'm going to I did a lot of countries in Europe. Now I'm in Latvia because I was going to Estonia, in Narva, near the Russian border. And later we'll come back by train, so I travel with the bike for a lot of countries, and now I'm here in Latvia. Yeah.
Oh, so you are passing through Latvia, basically?
Yeah, I'm just passing. Yes.
And so, what's the situation for you? You are currently living in Italy, as far as I understand.
Yes, I live in Italy since I was 6 years old. So yes, I born in Russia, but I started when I was a child, and did the first class in Italy. So I'm Italian.
Oh.
Yes, my first language is Italian. It's not anymore Russian. When I speak Russian, the people always tell me that I have Italian accent. So yeah.
So did I introduce you correctly? Because I introduced you as coming from Russia, but basically I should actually put it.
You write that I come. No, I come from Italy.
Because usually when a foreigner comes, I write where he's from. Right? So for you, I just wrote from Russia.
Yes, I'm Russian, but I come from Italy.
But do you live permanently now in Italy? It's not like you are just going to school there, right?
No, it's my home now. It's school, it's work, it's everything. My life, my friends.
Do this?
Of course, I do always this.
Right,
this is very natural for us. This is when you want to say what, and so you're using this, of course. Yeah. And I very open guy, extrovert guy. I always smiling because in Italy we like this, and that's it. So I'm Italian Russian, yes. The blood is Russian, but the mindset is Italian.
And did you follow your parents to Italy? What made you move to Italy?
Yeah, my grandmother transferred to Italy when I don't know, like in 2009, and me with my mother follow my grandmother, and now we are all together there in Italy. Yes, but for work.
But it is unusual, right, for Russians to move to Italy.
Not very unusual. Maybe no. If you want to work in Europe, you go to. Yes, I know. Maybe you go to Germany usually, yeah.
Yeah, Germany, I've heard. Yeah,
Yes, I know. But for example, my
and
grandmother.
Great Britain.
Great Britain, of course, or USA. I don't know. A lot of Russians are in USA, but like because my grandmother has like friends in Italy, so we come because for my grandmother was more comfort. Yeah. So for this, yes. But everything is good now. Like my mother has a husband, Italian husband. We have an Italian restaurant. So everything is fine.
All right. So did you decide to bicycle through Europe just because of the Ukraine situation, or did you wanted to do that either way?
I was thinking to do this before, but I wasn't thinking to go until the Russian border. I was thinking just only to go to Berlin, yeah, and come back by train. But when the war began, I was thinking I need to do something for tell to everyone that we are not the same. We are not a Russian for this war. So just take the bike, take a sign, take the flag, and go. And but I was thinking to plan this journey for the summer, not for now. But because of Ukrainian situation, just start now. The 6th March was my first day.
And so your goal is to Narva and then just back?
Yes, because I'm like traveling 77 days and I'm very tired mentally, physically. I meet a lot of people, but the most interesting thing that my mission is talk about with the people. I know the truth about the war, but from the people that are live in this situation, for Ukrainian, and not only Ukrainian but Belarusians, because they are oppressed by Lukashenko. Dictator is a dictator. So like I was, for example, in Vilnius with in a Belarusian house full of refugees, and they tell me very crazy stories like all of these people was in jail because of a message in telegrams. Like they write something like Lukashenko, fuck off. I can say. And in the night, the police come and like distract everything and arrest these people.
Which is funny because they usually say that Telegram is so safe. Right?
Yeah, it's true, but
so it's not.
It's Belarus, so yes, it's danger everywhere. In the home, you can talk with your family because you're afraid that they will spy you. You know, it's worse than Russia. Belarus is very, very. And now, in 29 May, will be approved a law against the activism, like in Belarus, that it considered terrorism, and if you do activism inside the Belarus, you can get the death penalty. Yes, death penalty.
Yeah, well, that's what you call a totalitarian regime.
Yes, but it's still in Europe, so it's very scary, this situation. Because
it's always related to some type of core politicians, right? And then once they die, either naturally or by some assistance, it's usually the reason for some changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lukashenko, I don't know how old he is, but I guess he has at least 10 years in him. I think the same with Putin.
No more. Like when the Belarus born, like was 91 or 94, I don't remember.
Yeah.
Was the first and unique president, like 20.
No. I mean, still left, right? I mean, he's probably 70 years old. He's probably can go till he's 80 at least.
Yes.
At least. And the same with Putin.
Yes, like the same thing. You know?
Except some people say that he is ill, that Putin has some type of disease, and that's the reason why he wanted to invade Ukraine, because he feels he doesn't have much time.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
For example, I don't share the casus belli of Nazi fascism. Like we need to get free Ukraine from fascism. Is not a casus belli that
which is pretty ironical, because when you look at the definition of fascism, It means uncontrolled, consolidated state power that mixes with business as it sees fit, right? Which is just, you described Russia.
Yes, exactly. Like they're fighting fascism with fascist methods.
Which is, I guess, yeah, maybe they think fire with fire.
Yes,
I
exactly.
don't know. But don't you think that it's a little bit, well, it's not, you wouldn't be able to expect such things, right? It's just that you don't expect how they are occurring. But in a way, some people definitely expected there will be some conflicts, there will be some deaths, all of this. It's just that the trajectory has been there for, I don't know, 15 years at least.
What do you mean, like the
Well, Russia and Belarus, because they once in the early 2000s, right? They wanted to do any type of reforms. It turned
Yes.
out that they did the reforms to amend the constitution, to extend the policies, to extend the rule, to extend the terms for the president. You know, it's just, we see what you are doing. You just want to extend your power. You want to be more in control.
Of course, yeah.
That's it.
This is the goal. Yeah.
But would you say that your mission of sorts is more related to be, like informational, to for people don't judge Russians as a one type of stereotype?
Yes, but it's not only this. Like this is, cause I'm doing this. Well, my mission is for this, but not only for this, because I'm traveling 77 days. But it's more for me, for myself because when I will finish this journey, I want to write a book of my experience with the people that I meet, or what was my feelings. But it's not to get famous or to get money. It's to explain, like with my book, what you can do if you believe in something. Okay, outside the political things, like outside the mission, outside the war, like what I'm doing is like only an 18 years old guy that going for all the Europe with a bicycle and following the ideals, like, and it's very crazy because like no one with 18 years old doing this, So yes, this is my goal, to be an example for young people like me, because a lot of people of my age, a lot of guys, a lot of teens are lost. And I want to fight the racism against the Russians, but no, I mean not the racism against the government, the hate against the government that I can understand and I approve, but the hate against the Russian people that lives especially in Europe, because in Russia they are for Putin. I know that, but because propaganda works very well. But outside the Russia, that every Russian are against. I know a lot of Russians are all against. So I was telling that yes, I want to be an example. And why not? Maybe when I will write a book, go.
But didn't Putin call all Russians who live outside Russia traitors?
Maybe,
or something like that.
I don't listen this, but I think we are like traitors. Yeah, we listen the West propaganda for Putin, So maybe we are traitors, and we can come back. Okay, you can come back to Russia, but if
why would you?
No, I mean, like if you're like for example, I'm an activist and it's against Putin. I was in televisions, magazines, radios.
In Italy?
No, not only Italy, Poland, Lithuania, further Europe. In English, in Polish, in Italian. Polish, of course, I was speaking it in English, but they translate in Poland. Now I'm in Wikipedia. Yes, and if they will write they will check my name on Google and will find everything, I can risk 15 years of prison. So it's very, very dangerous for me to go to Russia, and I can't go right now.
But you haven't been there since you are 6 years old, right? You were 6 years old.
Yes, but because of the war, I can, because I'm like against the government.
Let's be honest. I mean, Italy, if you compare the statistics or just the way of life, I guess Italy wins Russia every day of the week.
Of course, very no competition. Italy, the salary is very big compared to Russia. The lifestyle is very good. there are not problems like we have our problems, but not nothing compared to Russia. And Russia is very.
Except the COVID thing. I remember when the COVID started, Italy was always put as an example how it's so dangerous.
Yes.
But I don't know how real that was.
Yes, we're the first nation that was with this big problem of COVID, and like a lot of people from a lot of governments from the Europe help us because we were the first. But yes, but except this, Russia is is a very big problem in front of Italy. We have a lot of problem. But for example, for me, it's a thing that I like to do in the summer when I want just to relax, to chill. I don't go to Italy because I'm ready there, I'm not a tourist that go to the sea because I have the sea in my house, so I can go when I want. I go to Russia because I like to be like different,
Wait a second, but when was the last time you were in Russia then?
January this year.
Oh, all right. I thought you didn't come back once you left.
Every year I come there.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, so now you are basically risking getting imprisoned when you come to Russia again.
Yes, this is the problem. That for now I can't come there because it's very risky. So for now we'll just wait. The situation will be chill,
So what do you think about Navalny?
Oh, very big, good question. My mission is dedicated to Alexei Navalny. Like in my TikTok profile, I told that my mission will be for Alexei Navalny because it's like my inspiration, political inspiration, not like I like man, but political inspiration. And I like his story because was like very brave to be against Putin, come back to Russia, be poisoned.
Was it brave? I mean, that's the thing I don't understand. You knowingly come back from Germany. I think he was in Germany, right? He got treated at the hospital, came back to Russia and got arrested instantly. He didn't even leave the plane without the police, right? And now he's 10 years in prison?
5 years. In 3-4 years will be released. I know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think 3-4 years.
Because that's, I understand that it is commitment, right? But really, I don't think he's the winner of this. Yeah, it's like Khodorkovsky. He was at least 10 years in prison, right? And once he got out, he moved out. There's just no.
Yeah, but like now. Will be all tactic. I don't know because now it's in prison, but there are more people that demonstrate for Alexei Navalny because they know that Alexei Navalny can do this. Maybe it's like a symbol now, become a symbol in prison.
That's what the West would like to portray him as because it's our sort of culture to have those heroes, right? There's always a hero. There's always somebody who shines light on things. But if you read the past 200 years, let's say Chekhov, right, when he described the Sakhalin Island, or when you, I don't remember what's the name of the American author, but basically in the 19th century, 2 Americans went to Russia, Tsarist Russia, and they documented and sort of made, I don't know, I think they traveled through Russia for 2 years, and basically they documented and they documented their experiences in Russia, especially in Siberia, in the exile system. And their book is called Siberia in the Exile System, right? And they document all these things that even in Tsarist Russia, right? Before even the First World War, before all these things, even in Tsarist Russia, there were all those people who other people considered as brave, and they stand up to the injustice, all these things, right? And they just describe how they are maltreated, unjustly sentenced, and put to basically either rot in prison or just get some evidence, fake evidence if needed, and just shoot them, right? And you read that and you think, 200 years have passed and nothing much has changed, right? So think about in the context of those lives, right? Because they really describe certain individuals who basically told the story, well, I saw that the secret police did some wrong. I wanted to protest that. Then they got me in jail, put me 15 years in the hard labor camp. And then, basically I'll get tortured every day, right? And then I start drinking or whatever. But there's no happy end for that, right? And once you know those type of stories, and the Americans even, they can compare with their penal system in America, so they compare all these things, and yeah, they're speechless, right? And that's the 19th century, where people didn't really have no internet, no luxuries at all.
19th century?
19th century, yeah.
Okay, so it was before the Soviet Union, like where it was the Tsar.
Yeah, it's the Tsarist Russia, the empire, right? And he describes all these things, and then you can really see that, it's not really a system of communism, it's not really a system of Russia, it's not really a system of anything. It's just that in that particular region, there are psychopaths. It's just psychopaths, and basically, I remember some other author telling us, speaking about it, because he basically said that during the, Middle Ages, I guess, the Mongols started conquering a lot of territories, and so they basically left their type of mentality, and Mongol mentality was always, kill or be killed, right? And it's just straight up savage. And that's pretty much what's left behind. Some type of killer mentality.
Yeah, it's very interesting story. Yeah. I was thinking to do like the same, like Alexei Navalny before I meet the Belarusian refugees, because I was thinking to go inside Russia and protest inside Russia. It was like the most dangerous thing that I can do now. Yes. Like after I come in this house, the Belarusian refugees told me that the story that were arrested just for a message of Telegram, and take like 5 years. 5 years for a message, but it's Belarus. I know it's different, but if they take 5 years for a message, what I can take that I was in everywhere,
I didn't read the book, but I remember some author speaking about a book that was about modern day North Korea. And they, as far as I remember, they basically said that in North Korea, the police can come to your home at any time, and they can inspect, because every home is supposed to have a shrine for the leader, meaning a place where you have the portrait and some other belongings, and they can come in, check if you have that intact, and what they can also check whether there's any dust or something's wrong, right? And and so at least the authors said that they can arrest you for just willingly, and if they take a liking to your, for instance, daughter, you can expect that she will be raped.
Yeah.
And you don't have any possibility to actually prohibit it or do anything about it, because either you will get in jail yourself or you'll be shot because you are resisting the authorities.
Yeah, it's true. North Korea is very, like, there the leader is like a god. So yes, it's very, crazy.
Because the mentality is always, I don't know if you've read Orwell, but basically the story from 1984 or even Animal Farm is basically grounded in real life examples, because Orwell was participating in the Spanish Civil War, right? And he saw George Orwell,
okay.
when he was fighting in the Spanish Civil War. He basically saw the ideologies, the authoritarianism, all these things, right? And so he didn't have any illusions about what will it end, how it will end, right? And that's why 1984 ends with the Winston Smith, the main protagonist, loving Big Brother and getting basically shot.
Yeah.
Right, because that's I kind of liked that in that novel specifically, right, where they said, we won't kill you up front. We will torture you and we will make you love Big Brother, and then we will kill you, right? And it's just that's how it goes. Once you are the participant of a system, I don't think there's real options available other than to, let's say you are 18 years old. You would need to become sort of like a spy or an agent, right? You need to basically become sort of a type of cooperating member of, let's say, Italy, that goes as an exchange student or whatever to Russia. Then you can infiltrate some type of bureaucracy, right? Move up your career ladder, get into positions of power in, let's say, 10, 15 years, and then kill Putin.
Yeah.
No, but that's a serious strategy. I mean, it's not like it wouldn't have been happening somewhere in the world at some point, right? It's a real strategy. But yeah, I don't see anything other than, let's say, Putin is now isolated from everybody.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
So he has only maybe 10 people around him. So some of those people should either kill him or just, grab him, arrest him, whatever. And that's it. But if they cannot do that, it means you just wait. And it means how long he lives, the rest of the people just get in jail.
Yes.
At best, right? At best.
The best, of course. The best. Yeah, and I hope that in the future, but I'm not only hope, I'm pretty sure that in the future the government of Russia will be different, because the time has come, the time is coming. Putin will dead because will be old and will dead one time. Maybe in the future, no, maybe 5 years, maybe tomorrow, but will die. And the next generation is my generation. We will come, and we have the mentality of like the West, like a lot of young people of teens of Russia. They are very open to the news of the other part of the world. They don't listen only the Russian propaganda. So I think in the future we can change something, and Russia will be finally freedom country.
That's what people said 200 years ago in Russia.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the shocking thing. You read those things from the 1800s, right? And you think, damn, it sounds similar to these days. Just straight. Oh yeah, and those people are all dead. They didn't see any positive changes. They just rotted away in the gulag.
So like you think like the young people that are growing up with this mentality of the West, they change mentality when they go to the government, you think?
The only thing to expect positive change is to be the positive change yourself, right?
Of course.
But if you expect somebody else to come to their mind and to start getting all fluffy and la-di-da-di, it's not going to happen, because the people who are in power, they raise the next generation of people who will be in power. That's usually the system. The system works usually the way that the next generation is being taught and being trained by the previous generation. So the only time when you can interact with it is either you kill those bastards up front, or you just get infiltrated with the next generation. Then you come up. I think theoretically you could say Khrushchev was some type of leader who did that, right? Because once after Stalin he came as the chairman, he denounced Stalin. Technically he did that, but I guess practically, because that's what Solzhenitsyn writes about, right? Because Khrushchev came into power saying that Stalin was a murderer and a genocidal dictator, and then Khrushchev still even expanded the gulag system, right? Meaning the prison system where everybody got into just some type of trouble because they didn't like the NKVD or something like that, right? Yeah, they got sent off. So it wasn't like Khrushchev did all the fixing, right? But at least he publicly denounced Stalin. He publicly did at least the message was another one. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Stalin, I think, died like 58 or something like that.
58, yeah.
And then you still had
Putin.
Yeah, you still had 33 years when Yeltsin came.
But like, yes,
33 years, right? So it means people were born and died during that period, right?
Yeah.
It's a long time.
Yeah. But for example, Gorbachev like try to change something now with the perestroika, yeah? Try like to rebuild the Soviet Union, but he failed and the Soviet Union just fall.
Well, technically, I guess the big idea was to admit that the controlled centralized economy wasn't really stable. And so they wanted to introduce a little bit of that capitalistic system.
Yes.
But yeah, I think you just made your bed, so you just need to lay in it, because nobody knew how it will unfold. And then yeah, the coup d'etat in 90 by Yeltsin probably was engineered by foreign powers That's how usually those things operate, right? You have some type of agent or some type of people who are trustworthy to your cause, and then you can just fund them, give them money, give them resources, whatever they need, so they can. Let's say the same with Navalny, right?
Yeah.
Some people say he's an American spy. Some people say he's just an activist. He can be both. He can be a person who is just really authentically interested in changing the government for the better, but he still needs some money. He needs still some resources. So whoever gives him the resources, he probably could take it, right? And probably if he's open to getting those resources, Americans would pay for him for sure.
Yes,
for sure,
yes.
That's just normal.
Yes, like I want to know, like when the Soviet Union fall, the Latvia was independent. Like when was the independence of Latvia? 91.
Yeah.
Okay, and how the Latvians react to this fall? Like was
Well, most statistically, I guess, would say that it was a long time coming, and they wanted that. Of course, you still had some communists, diehard communists, and of course there were statistically at least I would say 20% who didn't like those changes, because nobody likes change if their current situation is pretty comfortable, right? Among those people who were on the elites, sort of in the party or in the arts or in the academics, of course they didn't like the change, right? Because it means you lose your job, you lose your status. Right?
So yeah, and so a lot of people, because was the demonstration 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Yeah, I was there. But like this demonstration was because of the Russian war in Ukraine, and so like the Latvians are afraid that Latvia will be the next country that Putin will be invaded. Because of this, they did the demonstration.
I don't know if that would be the sole cause, but the main reason was that the aggression in Ukraine has spurred on those political fractions in Latvia who always wanted all the Russian symbols gone, all the Russian influence gone from our country. And so the monument is just one piece of the puzzle, because once the monument is gone, they'll find another thing to get rid of. It's not like it changes, right? Because, I mean, we were under 50 years of Soviet rule. And of course, they have monuments, they have buildings, they have infrastructure, they have all these things left from those times. And there's always somebody who will say, no, it's not progressive enough. We need to do this and we need to do that as well. But yeah, this one, because I think the monument was I think the monument was built in the early 80s, right? And think about it. If the monument was made in the early 80s, it maybe stood for 8 years, and then the changes happened, the fall of the Soviet Union and independent Latvia. So the monument was maybe 8-9 years old when Latvia recovered its independence, right? So starting from that point, there were a lot of people who remembered how the monument was built, how it all happened, and they just didn't like it. So from that point on, they said, we need to get rid of it. We need to get rid of it. But I think one of the clauses in the agreement between Latvia and Russia was that they actually do the maintenance for the monument and sort of to respect that it's
the past.
Yeah, well, that it is a symbol for the World War II fallen soldiers, and also that they will sort of, I don't know how it works, but basically Russia was and Latvia was sort of obligated under international contract to keep sort of the monument as it is. That's the story, but I haven't read anything contractual, right? But I think that's the story. And now, after the Ukraine war, basically they wanted to say, oh, you don't keep your promises with other countries, well, we are not obliged to, do our part when it comes to the contracts with you. So they basically changed either the law or they repudiated the contract. I don't know what they did. I didn't follow that. But basically, they did everything they needed to do to say, oh, now we can actually decide to tear down the monument.
Yeah.
and it's just a reactionary impulse. But the idea of tearing down the monument has been there ever since Latvia regained independence.
But why they only now because of the war in Ukraine?
It's not really only now. There were always those things, but it's just that usually people got along pretty well. I mean, there were all those voices who didn't want the monument to be left there, but usually it was more like political critics, and that's it, right? But now with all this situation, they have a real reason to be more loud, right? And I mean, a lot of people are just going with the wind.
I was in Lithuania. Lithuania and Latvia is very similar country, yeah.
Well, difficult to say. I think Lithuania is economically more advanced. It's a bigger country, population-wise and territory-wise. But you can compare them, sure.
Will the Baltic countries all together, so Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, Latvia is the country with the most Russian influence, yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
Want to ask, how you the relationships where the other Baltic countries, so Estonia and in Lithuania, are I don't know, it's everything positive relations, not like with Russia that Latvia is against Russia. It's for the first impression that I see. Latvia is against, but it's before the war, not only because of the war. I don't know. But with Estonia and Lithuania, is everything good. Your brothers, yes.
Well, I think we compete in different fields. I mean, the agriculture competes. I think the business regulation competes with Estonia. The milk industry competes with Lithuania. There's always some type of economic competition. Politically, we don't have any trouble with each other at all. I think, maybe there's some disputes with Lithuania about possible oil fields in the Baltic Sea.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just sort of compared to the overall cooperation and minor disputes, nothing really big. And with Russia, I don't think there has been a lot of trouble with Russia. I know a lot of people who would like to see still some type of neighboring cooperation, because most people don't assume that just a regular Russian citizen is the same as Putin, right? Or the same as those elites in Russia. They don't assume that. They have a lot of people who... That's the funny thing about Russian propaganda, I guess, because a lot of people think, if Putin did it, there must be some type of good cause for it against the globalists, against the American imperialists, against the lizard people, whatever you name any conspiracy. If Putin does it, it means that he's probably onto something. It's just that weird fact that if China invades some country or
Taiwan, for example,
if any other country does it, it means geopolitical strategy, just some regular Machiavellian type of politics, right? But if Putin does it, you always find people who say, he's probably fighting against the Rothschild globalists, pedophilic, some type of cartels, right? It's just all right.
I want to talk about the Italian situation, what the Italian people think about this war. In Italy, we have this thing that we like to listen both sides of the situation. Yes, so not only the Ukrainian side but the Russian side. We are freedom country, but a lot of people
I don't know. Berlusconi was a long time, not really the most.
But was the past Berlusconi? Now we were the present. In TV shows. The Italian programs invite a lot of people that are maybe for Russian government, they want to defend why they are for Russian government, so they talk a lot. And they invite one time, a Italian channel invite Lavrov, the principal person of the Russian propaganda. And I think it's good to see both sides, of this. But the problem is that the people, if they listen this Russian propaganda in Italian channels, they will think that they are right. So a lot of people are for the Russian government, but it's more for the Russian government are for against America. Because in Italy we hate America. Is
No, come on.
yes, it's a country we don't like because
Come on, man. Italy has a lot of influence from America as well.
because of this we don't like America because we have a lot of influence especially old people are against this America.
It's the same with France, but I don't believe you. Because look, you are using American technology. You are using, in many ways, American way of life. Music, culture in general.
Yes, it's true, but still the people, it's not my because I'm young and I very for part of the American culture that I export to Italy. Yes, but the old people are they don't use these things of. Yes, they always say that America is bad, because they can't. But not in Italy. It's not a thing of Italy that Americans come to Italy and take something. Not this, but that America just going to do war everywhere they want and no one just doing nothing, because they can. And and when the Russia attack Ukraine, it's a very different situation. So they think that if Russia is a murder, USA is the same like Russia, but Russia, like a country in Europe, a freedom country that is in Europe, and is pretty different that attack a country in Iraq, in Syria. I, of course, don't against the war of Iraq and Syria, but we need to see that is another thing. Europe is another thing, the Asia, the Medio Orient. So, yeah. So that is the old mentality of this war, yeah. But for example, the young people, the young guys, they don't very care about the war, everywhere in Europe, outside the Ukrainian, of course. But the other teens, they don't really care.
Well, that's the thing, right? Most of us don't care until it's up to our door.
Yeah, and in Russia it's the same. In Russia it's very scared that no one is care about the war, doesn't exist.
Well, it depends how much they even get to see the war. I don't think that they are really portrayed. I don't think that the events are portrayed daily there. I think it's just because I remember again for instance the North Korean thing. I think the North Koreans also they got some type of media clips from North Korea, and then they compared what happened and how it was portrayed in North Korean media, right? And so you can see how cheesy it can become, right? If you have an isolated country where you control most of the information flow, and problem is Russia doesn't have any friends, even though they like to think that China is a friend or Iran is a friend. They're not friends.
Korea.
They are straight up killers as well. It's just that if a psychopath gets in bed with another psychopath,
they will kill each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they do. It's just that it's in their nature, and the only thing responsible for all of this is probably the citizens who might as well just who might as well take the example of Navalny. If you are, let's say, trapped in a way in Russia, you can at least not do the things that the government asks you to do, right? If you get, let's say, some type of illegal order, you cannot follow it up, right? Yeah, you risk going to jail, but at least you're not participating in maybe some nuclear holocaust, right? Because that's the question that always people ask. Well, if Putin doesn't get his way, he'll attack with nuclear weapons.
Yes.
Yeah, but somebody has to execute that order. Putin won't be the one pressing all the levers on all the buttons, right? Putin will give the order maybe, but some other people in Russia, Russian citizens, will have to execute it. And that's the question, whether or not they will be ready to execute it, because then it will be mutually assured annihilation.
Yeah. But I think it's very difficult to execute Putin because he has how it's called in English, oligarchs, yeah, that they are helping him, but not. I mean, with the money, and Putin now in Russia is a very popular, is popular, but in positive way. Like everyone is for him. And yes, maybe if he will attack with nuclear bombs, it would be different. But now Russia is like the population of Russia are for Putin in this moment than the before. Like before, the people are was like, I don't know, like Putin is Putin, like this, you know. But now they're like, yes, Putin is a good leader. They will save us from Ukraine, the fascism of Ukraine, for fascism of all the world, you know. Because now it's not only.
Maybe it's just the official version.
Of course, official.
Because
but
if you live in a country where you can get jailed for a telegram text, of course, officially, when somebody asks you on the street, what do you think of your government? It's the best government in the world, of course. No way around it, right? That's the official version.
yeah, but yes, I can talk I talk about with my friends that live in Russia, with my family. They convinced about this, but not only my friend that live in Russia. I have a person like that live in Italy is part of my family, and she very convinced that what doing Putin is good.
Because that's always the reasonable doubt that people want to see is that if Putin does it, it means he's against the globalists, the conspiracy, Jewish conspiracy, the globalist conspiracy, the Rothschild conspiracy, the lizard people conspiracy, the alien conspiracy, all these conspiracies. Russia is the only one who is standing up against these tyrants, right? And it's just, the funny thing is, they always did it. Even in Tsarist Russia, that was their excuse. Their excuse was for counter-revolutionaries. Why? Let's say you are 18 years old, you do cycling, right? You participate in an event. I think even either Chekhov or somebody else wrote about it, that in the Tsarist Russia, they had an event where they were criticizing the local government, and some dude just passed by, right? He wasn't even a part of the demonstration, but he just passed by, watched what happens. The police came, took him in, sent him off to the gulag for like 15, 20 years, right? No recourse, not at all, right? And he's been transported to Siberia, right? And he says, I didn't do anything, but I have no options of going back. I cannot leave. They don't allow me to leave the country, right? And what they charged him with was sort of like a counter-revolutionary activity, right? Meaning that you wanted to topple the government in a sense, right? Because you participated in those things.
Yeah,
and that's a real thing. That's a real thing. A government doesn't want to be the status quo. The people who are benefiting from the status quo don't want their power abolished, right? And it's a matter of whether or not you catch all these possible revolutionaries in your country. And yeah, that's how far it can get. That you write, oh, I don't like this politician, who's in charge, who's in power, right? And then knock, knock, knock. You are underground revolutionary. You are destroying the motherland, right? And then off to the gulag prison. And it has happened throughout the last century. It has happened to hundreds of millions of people. Because Nazi Germany was the same. Before that, some type of regimes also. Italy, technically, also, yes. I think, under Mussolini.
Japan, yes.
And and the biggest human sacrifice for human life
of Soviet Union.
Well, Soviet Union also, but the biggest one was the Chinese Cultural Revolution, right? Because they, even the Soviet Union said they are too crazy, right? Because even the Soviet Union didn't agree with the things that happened in China. But Mao Zedong was basically a god, right? And everybody because it's the sort of like a simple version would be to say that the Cultural Revolution started with people wanting to imprison those people who actively wanted the government to change, that they wanted to bring in, let's say, Western culture, Western ideas, who came from the West, for instance, right? But it ended with everybody being suspicious of everybody else, because now the offense was you didn't praise Chairman Mao enough, right? It started with somebody was arguing that we need to change the government, and then he got imprisoned. But it ended with the people. Why didn't you praise Mao Zedong this day? Or why did you praise him only 2 times this day? Why didn't you praise him 3 times? Why didn't you praise him 4 times this day? Or you are revolutionary, counter-revolutionary. You are not for the people, right? We need to, put you in jail. And yeah, it was bloody. I mean, the Cultural Revolution. I don't know how many millions of people died because they all thought that they are the revolutionaries. It's just that one revolutionary group said, no, the other group is not revolutionary. They are counter-revolutionary. They want to put in the old regime back, right? So they each other just pointed the fingers to each other, right? And then it was, they found swords, they found guns, they found grenades. And and it only stopped because the army was sent in and squashed it.
But I think it's possible that China, like 70 years ago, was just a very poor country.
It still is. It's technically
China,
still is.
But now, not like in the past. It's not like, for example, India. Yes, it's a big country, India, but it's not rich and powerful. I mean, powerful like China.
So it's a question of what is your metrics, because if you use just numbers, you see it in times of high inflation. €1 doesn't mean anything if you cannot buy anything with it, right? 1 ruble doesn't mean anything. It's just a number. What can you do with it? And usually people measure wealth and sort of like real welfare by free time. How leisure time can be spent, right? And it's no comparison. I mean, I had Chinese people here. I remember one Chinese dude stopping the podcast because I had asked him about, so what do you think about life in China or something like that, right? And he was getting stressed. He was worried that if he says something, if he speaks his mind, then he cannot maybe come back to his country.
Holy God.
Yeah, and it's just a few years ago.
It's like now, it's like in Russia, but in China is more the police is more controlling you. It's not like in Russia.
I think it's just more obvious.
Maybe only the mentality of the Chinese people.
I think it's just more obvious. I think when you look at China, Russia, all other states that, let's say, America thinks that are the enemies, usually they just do it more openly. I mean, the terrorism, the sort of repressions are more openly, but Americans are not no small children. They are psychopaths as well. It's just that they are more willing to lie to you, right? They are more willing to make a facade, make some. But again, at least you have some type of freedom of speech. At least you have some type of political freedoms, right? It's not like the total the same. But yeah, when it comes to foreign policy, America is just kill or be killed.
Yeah,
that's no joke.
Yeah.
So again. Yeah, it's pretty cool that you are so young and so interested in being active. It's just that learn from the past for sure, because now you have all the information you need to make strategic moves.
Yes.
To see ahead. And I don't know how Navalny decided to come back, because if I would be Navalny, I would probably stay in Germany. And just constantly attack, gather my sort of troops around, right? And make an impact, because now if you are Navalny and you have a voice, right, you should use that voice, and you also should use your influence.
And inside Russia, you can't do this.
Exactly. Now he's just put in prison, and every once in a while, some news anchor would say, "Oh yeah, today was how many times the Navalny court decision for some other offense he was charged with," right? And that's it. But they don't ask him, so what do you think? What he doesn't have a voice.
For example, I want to do what need to, like Navalny, like now is in prison, and what I want to do is come back to Italy and try to change something, but from Italy, but I know how, because I'm my first language is Italian, I don't know, maybe doing speeches, maybe talking to the people, but what I can change? This is my question. Maybe I can change the minds, the mentality of Italian people, but of course I can't change of the Russian. Or maybe I was thinking like to come back and not only doing speeches, maybe, okay, now no, because I'm too young, but go in become a politic and found a method to do investments for the troops in Russia, that like we can like create a battalion of troops or Russian troops that they can fight against the Russian government. So like give money from outside Russia, but give money to inside Russia, because I think the change or the real change they can do the people that are living in Russia, not the people that are outside.
If you want to hear my opinion, just straight up, my opinion it would be to do the things you said, but without the transferring money to Russia thing, and instead making a place where Russians could come to exile.
What?
To that, making a place instead, you not taking the money and giving it to inside Russia for people inside Russia, but actually using the money to create some type of space and some type of environment where people come from Russia into exile.
Because
if you are in Russia, you are not you don't stand a chance. It's just that think about all the tools that are available to the FSB, to all those agencies in Russia. You don't stand a chance. It's just the only real market driven tool is people to leave the country, at least temporarily. Because usually why don't people leave their space? Because they don't have any good alternative, right? But if people do have good alternatives, let's say you say to a Russian in, I don't know, some Petrograd or whatever, you say, hey, come here. Almost everybody will understand you because they speak also Russian. The weather is much better, right? And we have better food, right?
Yeah.
So why are you still there? Well, I don't have the money. All right, let's find the way to get you for the tickets.
Yes, so maybe this would be a good idea. And I think if a lot of people go out of Russia, how can go the Russian go without people that work for there,
Yeah.
So we can go a good idea. Like I want me take like inspiration. Dopamoga. Dopamoga is like I don't know what it's called in English, but there are people that help Belarusian refugees. Where I was in Vilnius, this big house with full of Belarusian agencies is from Dopamoga. And Dopamoga, yes, what are doing? Like they take Belarusians from the border, yes, like take to this house, give food, give bed, give everything, give like a place where I can find a work, and like transfer, like go away from Belarus until Lukashenko don't fall. This is the plan of this, and I think it's a very good plan.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you would do that on a massive scale, I think they will have to admit that they cannot do anything about it other than maybe closing the border and not allowing people to leave at all.
But they leave the border illegally, not legal.
So. Yeah. That's the thing. How much can you actually control that type of scenario? But yeah, other than that, it's just really think about the last 100 years. And you have maybe 8 years where people in Russia could say, yeah, we thought we are going to be very open and liberal, and no. 92 years is just without you can get killed without a court, right? And that's it's not going to change very soon because you don't have the tools available to change it. I think you can best see it with Iran, because Iran was, I think 1979 was when the Ayatollah came to power, and before that they thought in the 50s and 60s that Iran will be really, really modern, really Western, right? That they sort of thought that, Ayatollah came into power. Now it's been at least 40 years, and still they rule in a theocratic, I don't remember, either it was Sunni or probably Shia Islam country, right? And I remember one Iranian being on the podcast, and he said, "Yeah, but we are in the underground. We think differently. We do." And I said to him, "Yeah, of course, there's an underground, but in the Soviet times there was always also an underground, but didn't affect the power structures."
I think your idea of the podcast, let me, you can explain, you invite people, of couchsurfing, yes, and you're doing podcasts with everyone, yes? This is the
Most of the time, I mean, it's not really related only specifically to couchsurfing. I have had a lot
for the guest.
Airbnb people, yeah.
And which is your goal of this podcast?
There is no goal, because
just to talk.
Because I remember having guests over and just having a chat with them for hours, and then once I had my equipment, which I used for other things, mainly for my publications, I made audio articles and also video commentary. So that's why I had microphones, I had video cameras, all these things. I just figured out I might as well do some podcasting, because I used to watch and listen to other podcasts in America, and from America, and I thought, yeah, maybe it will come in handy to know how to actually create digital content, how to distribute it, because the digital economy will be there whether I like it or not. So I might as well be a little bit proficient at that. But yeah, it's mostly just a training experience, because it's the same conversation I would have mostly still, right? But I just have the option actually to train, to learn how to actually do those type of digital content things.
Yeah.
And maybe they will come in handy. Maybe it's just something for hobbies. I don't know. But yeah, I guess most of the time it will be just a matter of the options available, because once you see some type of situation where you know, oh, I can do this, I'm able to do this, I know how to do that, right? You can have some type of success in that certain situation. But if that opportunity doesn't come, I'm not really regretting anything.
But it's good that you're just, for example, I doing always that, my mindset is like, I try, I don't care if I fail, because if I fail, it's experience. If it's a good earning, it's still good. So just try a lot of things, try the things that you most love, and that's it. Yes, just to try, not be afraid.
Yeah, it's if I wouldn't be listening to podcasts myself, if I wouldn't use YouTube or Facebook myself, maybe I wouldn't be interested in doing it. But since I am using those things, yeah, it's just you do the same thing almost that you are consuming yourself, right? So yeah, it's a little bit of both sides. And you see how actually, when you see, let's say, a really big or sort of big podcast, you see how much production is in that. You see how much work is actually there, right? Whereas I just put out the microphone, press start, press stop. That's it. And that's how I like it, because I know how difficult it is to actually, if you want to make a big video, edited video with all these sounds and effects.
It's difficult, yes. It takes time, a lot of time.
It's really hard work most of the time.
And what are you doing? You like to doing lives on TikTok, on Facebook, I see, but why you don't try Twitch, for example?
Yeah, I haven't tried Twitch. I haven't thought of it as something for the general public. I always thought of Twitch about gaming.
Not only this, a lot of people just doing podcasts on Twitch, so it's not only gaming. It's born like a platform for gaming, but now it's a lot of things together. Yes, but still live. So if you want to show maybe your life to other people, just go out in the center. You can take the phone, you record yourself, and this is content, Or maybe there are people that are only sleeping, doing nothing, but the other people give money. To start a stupid sound. Yes, this still content. It's still a big business for Twitch, but I think that Twitch is a very is good platform for rich money, but don't give you something that it's safe. Like they can ban you and for like things that are just not make sense because Twitch is American platform and they doing laws, but are laws for the America, for USA. So like for example in Italy, if you say some bad word against black people, they will ban you because of the American law. But if you say something against Jesus, because in Italy it's illegal. Like if you say a word that is like as a bad word against Jesus in front of like the police, they can just give you a ticket and the sanction, you know. Yes, but
so it's not really protected on the free speech.
But you can like a lot of people always using this word, but it's like illegal for the laws. It's illegal, but everyone just talk about. I just don't care.
Because it's funny if I know Italy, of course, has the Vatican and Rome and all of those things.
Yes, because of this.
But Italians, as far as I know, they're not the best Christians in the world.
No, of course
it's
not.
It's just it's good to be sort of, you know, like you have a little angel, little devil inside you, right? And it's just yeah.
I was said before, if you tell something against Jesus, Twitch doesn't care because it's not American law. And I want to talk about like this situation, this case about this Italian streamer in Twitch. What he said, this guy, like say something about against black people, yeah? It was banned like for 1 week in the beginning. Yes, so was waiting this ban. After 1 week, Twitch say again, we ban you for a month. So it was like without a job, because for Twitch, if you get banned, you can't do streams in another platform. You can do nothing, just need to wait. And another bad thing of Twitch, if you are banned for everywhere. So like you can go with your friends that are streamers. So for example, if you're a streamer, yes, and doing stream, but if I am a streamer that was banned and I go in your stream, you get banned too.
But then it's the problem if you have only the one platform, right? Because it's always, for every business, that's always the biggest risk. If you are dependent on Facebook, Twitter, Google, whatever, you need to be diverse, right? Yes. So just to protect yourself.
So yeah, what's up with this guy? Like he wait a month, but Twitch doesn't say like nothing about this unban. So when he can again doing streams, so was waiting 1 month, and Twitch say you need to wait other 3 months. And this guy was every time was like get crazy because was without a job. He can go with friends because they're all streamers and they work with stream because this work if you're a big streamer. And so was like alone without nothing. Just was a very very bad thing for him was And after 3 months, 6 months was the message of Twitch that was you're banned forever. So was waiting all this time, was thinking, okay, now I'm waiting, but in the future I can continue to streaming, and after 6 months they are just you can't do nothing.
So it's a really good analogy or euphemism or aphorism for all these dictatorial governments, including Russia.
Yes.
That you always put your people in the mindset, oh, help is just around the corner. Oh, the situation will be solved just around the corner. Once I explain, they will understand. It's just I need to wait a little bit, just a little bit. I need to wait a little bit, and then it's just months, years, and whole lives.
It's gone. It's true, and this is very. Yes, was like a lot of Italian streams was against this because was wow, you know Black Mirror,
the Netflix show.
Yes, the Netflix show that like is the show of like the future, like with but it's interesting show. For example, I like what I was to say about this with the show that this episode of this Italian streamer is like an episode of Black Mirror. Because it was like alone from all this, was dependent of the socials, but because it was his works. And when just socials put out you, like I don't know how to say it, but when you don't work, for socials and you're just alone, it's very difficult. Because if you're just only dependent from socials, and there are
it means he needs to read some books. How to diversify your business.
Yes.
Again, it's just an opportunity to learn.
But a streamer, how can they're doing a different thing? Because he's a social creator, he's an internet creator.
Yeah, but the platform is important. Because
the platform, you mean?
All platforms have their own policies. And look what they did to, do you know I don't know how to call him anymore, but basically, do you know Alex Jones? Have you heard of him?
No.
He was one of the most controversial figures in American, I don't know if you would say radio, maybe he did some radio as well, I don't know. But he had a show, and still does, which was streamed in the millions on YouTube, on different platforms, right? He was pretty big. Once COVID started, he was the one who said, it's all conspiracy, it's all just, he's really, really into that conspiracy world. Everything's almost a conspiracy, right? And he got banned from YouTube, all those platforms, but he still had his own website. So it just meant that people, they were a little bit shocked that he was banned from Twitter, all those social networks. And then, the people started to just come to his site, to his website. And still he has his show, he has in the millions viewers, right? But he had his website. And so all those platforms banned him. And he said that, it was a big hit for me, right? And financially, all these things. But I still had my website. People started coming to my website directly. And that's how you use the platforms to gain your popularity, gain your sort of momentum. But then you have something in mind that, all right, if the worst thing happens and they change the algorithm, they ban me, whatever, I still have the option to use this. And then
I want to talk about my situation with TikTok. Like, I have now 14,000 followers on TikTok. In the beginning of my journey with my bike, for the first month, I can say, the first month, I always did a video each day, and my video was sometimes 80,000, other time 50, but very, very good. Like the minimum was always 10,000. It was very good. Where I did lives, it was with 100 people, just we going with a bike and talk. It was 100, 200 people that see me. And at the beginning it was very good, but one time just TikTok just changed the algorithm. So you don't go to the people, the people can see you. And when TikTok changed the algorithm, you just without a work if you work only with TikTok. And from 80,000, 50,000, now I'm doing 5,000, for example, because of this. And so sometimes, but I like TikTok because TikTok premiated the content, not the creator, like YouTube, for example. For YouTube, if you're a big YouTuber with subscribers, your video will be up. If you're just a small YouTuber with nothing, with 10 subscribers, your video is still 200. So you need to go up. TikTok is you're doing a video and just again you're doing another video, but another video is up, another is down. So and it's great. But TikTok, I think in 5 years will be another social. Now is TikTok very famous. In 5 years it will be another. Oh, who knows?
I don't know. That depends whether or not people need some type of other. Because if Elon Musk buys Twitter, I think Twitter will become more famous.
Twitter, because of Elon Musk.
Yeah, I think if he buys Twitter, I think Twitter will be a better platform.
I think so.
But if he doesn't, no, then I don't know. Look, 2005, somebody said, or 2006, somebody said, "Oh, you need to be on Facebook." So what's Facebook? Right. Oh, it's the new MySpace, because I had a profile on MySpace, right? And so I'm not really considering that. 10 years later, 2016, I registered on Facebook.
You need to be on Instagram.
Well, I registered also on Instagram as well, but but the basic point is 10 years afterwards, Facebook was still around and massive, right? 2016, Facebook was really massive.
Yes.
2026, they will probably still be around and pretty massive as well still, or even bigger, right? So I think it's more of
The people that use Facebook, for example, are different. For example,
yeah, of course. I mean, I'm 10 years older, right? When I first heard about Facebook and when I registered it. But now it's just that you have, I think, a usual social media consumer has a lifespan of around 15 to 20 years on its platform. So let's say you are 18 years old, 20 years old, you now register on some type of platform. You are getting older, and the older you get, the less you would like to change some things. And so you are more inclined to just keep on using the same Hotmail email, right? Or Gmail and all these things. And I think it's the same for social media. You have 10, 15 years maybe of that lifespan. And yeah, if you started young, let's say you are 20, up till you're 35, you would probably be inclined to use the same platforms you use today, just because you are accustomed to them.
yeah, and I think like TikTok is maybe one of the most addictive social that you can use because it's very easy to use. You just need to do this, and that's it. It's very easy, just doing this, and you can see videos that they are like no I can say pause, like they are always video, so you can like okay, you can stop, but it's not like, for example, in YouTube that you need to choose the video, it doesn't start until you choose. In TikTok it starts every time, and so you like lose a lot of time because, and maybe you can like don't follow nobody, you can like give likes to nobody, but TikTok know what you like
Because
of the time that you see a video. Depends.
And they know your region, they know your location, they know maybe your contacts.
Yeah.
And so they can have those calculations. What is the most likely content that you would like to see? And then it's up to you. If you are staying on the video,
TikTok knows that
it's one indication that you are looking at the video more. If you're just swiping through, they say you're not interested. And yeah, I think it's a good option for us to teach the artificial intelligence, and maybe in the future, maybe the robots will all be our lords. I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but up till then, we will be entertained.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, if you look at your, let's say, your future, I think it's pretty bright, right? If I would be 18 years old, I would be looking pretty optimistically to a lot of things. But if I would be 80, probably not. Because I think if you are 80 now, you can look behind and see, yeah, probably the best is behind for you particularly, right? But if you're 18, yeah, because the world will get more globalized. It will be more faster, cheaper, more effective, more productive. And the only difference, I guess, will be that people will be pretty, well, how would you say, manipulative? Because people now are getting more educated and more experienced with all, selling, marketing, all these things, advertising, and people are really accustomed to being manipulated and manipulating themselves, right? Because if you want to avoid manipulation, you need to know how to manipulate, in a sense, right? You need to be aware of those things. And I think, it will become a little bit more weird sometimes, because you never know if somebody is trying to manipulate you. But other than that, it's pretty cool.
And like a lot of people wants to become like the people, the guy that decide everything, like the boss, A lot of people just want to become the general, but no one want to do the soldier. They want to become the boss, but no one want to become the dependent. And I think, okay, it's good to have this mindset to become in the high position, yeah. But if the world was only with the people that manage, that are boss, but no one is dependent, like how we can go, like, for example, if they are not farmers, if everyone say, okay, I want to become a doctor, it's cool. But if they are not farmers, how we can eat? for example, or maybe okay, I want to become a businessman. I want to become this, but no one doing the others like works.
Well, I think that's the beauty of social organizations. There's no real sufficiency for anything. I mean, you could always have better basketball players. You could always have more experienced doctors. You can always have more wiser and better specialists. There's no real limitation to those things because the amount of people is limited, but the amount of people's wants and needs is unlimited. So there's always the option to just either to change careers or even combine careers. I think you will see a lot of people, especially women, being, let's say, I don't know, teachers or students,
Yeah.
and in the meantime having an OnlyFans account and getting their pervert clients some type of satisfaction and earning money.
OnlyFans. It's called OnlyFans. This application that yes.
Yeah, OnlyFans. That's what I mean. Because you have a different career path if you are a hot chick, right? You can be a student and go to a regular profession, but you can also be an OnlyFans model and earn a lot of money by showing whatever.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
And still be considered a valuable member of society, because it wasn't the case, right? Sometime in history, if some woman was promiscuous or was exhibitionistic, she was considered like a low level. So society didn't really acknowledge that or didn't want that. Right nowadays, you can be a porn star and go to a church the next day.
Yes, it's not like in the past. And now the girls show more like their body, like in the past. In the south, you can see a lot of booties. Yeah, it's not like in the past. That you can show nothing. You can show nothing like this. You can the leg, the girl don't show in the past. Now they show everything.
Oh, actually, that's one thing that probably Russia is better than Italy. I think Slavic women on average are prettier than Italian women.
Yes, it's true. It's true, yes. The Russian women are very, very beautiful. It's not like the Italian, with the Italian girls with this mindset that, I don't know, they want a lot. Like they want this, they want that, they want like for a Russian girl it's enough just less. I know I can explain, but it's more easier, yes. And they're more pretty, so this is an advantage. I can ask you how is the duration of the podcast? Like, how we are going? 1 hour and
we're gonna finish if you
no,
like.
I mean when you
No, it's fine. I mean my food is probably getting cold as well, so
okay.
we can put a stop. Do you have any final suggestions, ideas, or thoughts
about?
Well, just in general.
What I can say, like so that I don't know when I will come, for example, to Narva. Okay, well, I want to say that this journey for me is like a big experience, yes. But now I began to miss my home, and more I go away, I miss my home. But I'm sure when I will come back to my home, I will miss these moments. It's very strange for our mind, because you need to reach a goal, yeah. But when you reach this goal, you're not satisfied. You need to reach another goal. Yeah. So it's continue running. It's never rest. Yes, and I think if you can enjoy the moment, not only think like in the future I will be fine, because you will be fine if you think like this. You need to think now I'm fine, and this may be the key of the happiness. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think there's even a special concept for that in psychology, because the people they usually try to figure out what's enough when it comes to money. And then they started looking into the different type of earnings. And I think have you heard of Jordan Peterson?
No.
He's a pretty famous psychologist in North America, and he has a lot of YouTube videos and his channel. And I think he even said that at one point there's clinical psychology has described the ceiling where you don't feel any better earning more than that, right? And he describes those type of situations where people would like to have some type of end goal where they think this will be bliss, this will be just pure happiness, right? But when they reach that point, they see
Nothing.
no, it's just a new normal, right? And it's always like you strive for something and then you adjust your expectations. You strive for something, you adjust, and it's always that you think you will be on the level of 10 out of 10, right, with happiness. And then it just becomes your norm 6, 7, right? And then you again try to do that. And they even described it, that it's just the normal. That's the normal condition of the human being. To have always, you get accustomed to your comfort, to your lifestyle. And then, you don't really feel so much content or happiness. And then, sometimes people just like to meditate, try to help others more so they feel more satisfaction that way. But some people just go to parties more. And that's it.
Yes.
And then it's up to the individual if they want to party or help other people, right? But now with the social media being so focus driven on luxury, on money, on all those
Beauty,
status symbols, you definitely can see some type of risks when you will have, I don't know, 40, 50-year-olds who can see some type of risk, who always thought that they needed to gain these things, but then no big deal. All right, I think TikTok is lagging also, so all right, let's finish.
This time, yes.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you too.
All right, and I'm done.